In this video, we're gonna build the filter section now, and let's look at how actually it looks like first. So if we look at the completed app, here on the filter section, we have a input box like a search key. Whatever you type, it will start filtering here. We'll just do the designing in this video. Then we need a slider. Then we have to build the category checkboxes and then the make checkboxes. And the header filter should be there. And if I go to the existing page that we have built till now, so header is already there, the icon is there. Now we have to build the first lightning input field. So what we can do is we can go to our app, we can go to the car filter.html, and here what we can do is first we'll create a div and give a class slds margin horizontal medium. So we don't want whatever we build inside the card should touch the card's borders. So we are giving some margin around the card, or you can give the padding as well, both is fine. So M for margin, if you make it P, it will be padding. So we are giving margin horizontally of size medium. Now here the first task is to build the input field. So create a lightning input. I'll create a lightning input. I'll say label. Label should be search key, and then I'll say type of the input field here is search, and then I'll say on change. Whenever you change something here, should call handle search key change. And let's close this input field and wrap this up to make it more readable. Now we have to create this method in the JS file. So let's open the JS file, and here I'll create the method and leave it as it is. Let's keep it empty only. We are focusing on the designing part. Then if we go back and see what's the next element, we need a slider here. So I'll come back and create a lightning slider. For that I'll create a section tag here, and I'll give a class here and say slider section, and under this section what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build the slider. And for slider also we have lightning slider available. It will take label, we'll say max price. Then what should be the steps? So we'll say 100. Then it should start from minimum. I'll say minimum from 0, and maximum steps that this slider will take 999. And then after that we'll say the value should come here, and on change should call handle max price change method, and we'll close the slider. We'll go and create the max and this handle max price change method. Now our method is ready. Now we have to create the value, and we need a value here as well. So I'll create a value tag here as well, and I'll create an object here called a property or of type object. So I'll say filters is a property that is an object, and it takes two keys, search key, and that is initialized with empty string, and the another key is max price, and I'll initialize it with the 999. That's the same max value that I have given here in the slider, and I'll use filters.search key as the value in the input field. And I'll use the max price. Here I'll say filters dot max price. So max price will come, and the step is nothing. When you start dragging your slider at single drag, it will take 100 steps, then 100, like this it will work. So these are the steps of the slider. Now let's deploy this much only and see how it looks. Now the component is deployed. Let's go to our app, refresh the page, and now you can see that our search key and the max price is coming perfectly fine. And if I zoom, you can clearly see that. And now let's look at the final version of the app and see what's next. So then we need a category and the make. And if I go to our app and to go to the cars, if you open any record, you can see that the make and the category both are pick list, right? So here we're gonna use the trick of LWC get pick list value wire adapter to get this value. So let's go back to our page, and now here we'll bring our category and the make. So let's go to our app, and now we know we want to build the category. So first create the section. This section, under this section we want the h1 tag, and we'll create category, and below this I'll create another section and we'll give that section name as make, and we'll change the both tags to h2 instead of h1, because in a single page we always prefer a single h1 tag. So let's stick to that. Now we have category section and the make section, and to build the category we need a data and the category data. So for that what we can do is we'll go to a JS file. First let's import the adapter that we need to fetch the pick list values. So we'll say import get object info and get pick list values. So these two wire adapters is very much needed to get the pick list value. So I'll say from lightning UI object info API, and both adapter we can import from the same module. And now first we have to fetch the default record type ID, and for that what we can do is here I'll put the comment fetching category pick list, and below we'll use the wire service, and for that you need to import the wire from the LWC module here. Then you have to pass the wire adapter get object info, and for after that we have to tell this the object API name, and this is the car object, and gonna use the car object info here wire as a property. So this is a property which will store the data, and we need to import the car object and say import car object from @Salesforce schema, and then your object name, and our object is a custom, it will take car underscore underscore c. And now we are fetching on load, it will fetch this or call this wire adapter get object info, and this will brings the info with the default record type ID, and it will store in this property. So once the property is available, what we want is we want to call the another wire adapter that is get pick list value, and what we want to do, we use another wire service, we'll pass our wire adapter get pick list values, and then we define our adapter configuration. So adapter configuration is nothing the configuration that pass along with our adapter. So this is the configuration in this wire. Now we are writing the configuration here. We want record type ID for this, and we don't have any record type ID, so that's why we are calling first get object info. This will bring us the object or default record type ID, and we know wire is a reactive service. So what we can do is we'll say dollar in this property car object info when the data comes. So we'll go to the dot data and we'll pick up the field that is called default record type ID, and by adding the dollar in front, it means whenever this data is available, then only call this wire service, or immediately call whenever some data comes. And along with that, we have to pass the field API name that will tell from this record type you bring this field data, and we are passing the field API name as category field, and we have to import this field. And here I'll say put the comment car, I'll say import car field from @salesforce schema slash the object name, that is car underscore c, and then the field name, that is category underscore c. And if you don't know your object name or the field name, you can go to the our app, you select the gear icon and go to setup and go to the object manager, and here in the quick find you can search your object, that is car, and if you select the car you will get your API name car underscore c. And if you want any field API name like category, so this is category underscore c, and that's what I'm using here. Okay, so now we imported it, we passed it, now it will bring the car or category field. And now apart from this, what we want the make field as well. Let's import that as well. Say make field from the same path, but the field name is different. In this case the make is make underscore c. So here we are fetching the category pick list, and our wire is not yet complete, so we want to store the data under a property, wire property called categories. And I'll copy the everything again and paste it below this, and I'll say fetching make pick list. And here the object, we don't need this object because on the top you're already calling it. And I'll say I want the pick list for the same record type ID, but this time the field API name should be make field, and I can say the property that will store the data is the make type. So we'll get the data in the categories property and the make type property. So now on the HTML, we'll go and build our first categories. So below the h2, I'll create a condition first with the if true directive. I'll say whatever inside this template will come or show on the DOM only if the categories property have the data, then only it will load. And we'll say if it's not there, which means if it has categories dot error, which means it's not able to bring, then under this template what we'll do is we'll show a message in the div, we'll say error loading categories, and we can bring this message from the JS file. And on the top we can create constants, we'll say const, and this is get category error, and below this we'll create that property equal to category error, and here we can simply get error. So we are creating the constant on the top and we are using it, and we are storing it to a local property, and that local property we're gonna bind it here. So now when the category are like wire service send us the error, then this message will load, otherwise whatever we'll create here that will load. And now if we look at the actual output, we are looking to build the checkboxes, right? So let's go and build the checkboxes. And to build the checkbox, we need a lightning input, and we need a label. We need to tell the type as well. Type is checkbox, and I want the all the checkboxes to be checked by default. So I'll say checked the property or the attribute basically that keep all the checkboxes checked by default. Then on change, I want to call handle checkbox, and I'll close this lightning input. I'll wrap it out. And label I haven't mapped yet. Apart from that, let's go and create the handle checkbox first. And let's keep this empty as it is right now. And in the label, what I want is the data comes in the form of array, and we already know whenever the data comes in the form of array, what we can do is we can run the loop in the HTML. So I'll run the loop template for each categories.data.values. So the data comes with a property called values. We'll say run the loop on all the values that has come. We'll say for item, and each object under that array we call it as category. And we'll close this template, and we'll move our lightning input type checkbox inside this. So our checkbox will repeat again and again. And here we can map, and the data always comes in the form of key and value. We can say the label is category.label, and as we are running the loop we have to use the key attribute here. The key attribute, we can say the label is always unique or the value is always unique. We can use that property. We can say value category.value is the key, then the label, then the type, and checked attribute make all the checkbox checked, and the on change, whenever you change something the handle checkbox gets called. And let's keep it as it is. Then the same thing we're gonna do it with the our make field. So I'll copy all the templates and paste it for the make, and instead of category, here we have a make type. We are storing it in a property make type, so we're gonna use that. We'll check whether the make type.data is there or make type.error is there. We'll say make type.data.value is there, then each object call it as make, and then you will say make.value, make.label, and yeah, that's it. And we can create another error message. I'll copy this and paste below. I'll say make error loading make types, and we'll go and create another property make error, and we'll bind this in the make. Now we'll keep the same name here as well. The handler will remain same, and what we can do here is we can create another property to the input field and say name equal to this categories, and here we can add another attribute to differentiate our input field basically, and here we can say it's a make type. So now our both checkboxes are ready, the category as well as the make. So let's deploy and see how it looks. And this wire services I have explained very well in the wire adapter section, and there we have shown you like how we can fetch the pick list, and the same technique we are using it here. So now it's deployed. Let's go to our log and refresh the page, and once you refresh it you can see it's doing correctly. You have a search key, you have a slider, you have checkbox, you have make checkbox. So the filter is looking nice, and on type something and handling, let's write some console at least in our methods. So let's go to our VS Code, and here first is our input field, that is search key, and on typing something in that, we are calling the handle change search key. And for this we can add the comment as well, so that our code will be readable. Search key handler, it will receive an event, and if you console it here, will be event dot target dot value. And whenever you type something, we have to update this property filters dot search key. What we can do here is, and simply say this dot filters dot search key equal to event dot target dot value. And the other thing, we never update the object directly, so what we can do is, instead of this, we'll say spread the existing filter, this dot filter property, and then we add the new property or the same existing property, that is search key, and then we'll map the updated value, so it automatically update the search key value. And that's the bring the object immutability. We never mutate the data basically. That's the right approach to update the field when you have the field in the form of object. And if you want to update in that other way around, then you append the @track here. So I don't like track, so I'm updating in this way. Search key handler is okay. Whenever we'll type, we'll print something. Then we'll go to the price range handler. We'll put the comment for this method as well. It will also receive an event, and in this also we're gonna do the same thing. We already have a property max price, and here we'll say whenever you change something, the value will come, and will update the max price whenever you updated value comes, and that value will update the max price. And apart from that, we have checkbox handler, and for this can again get the event. And here if you observe in the HTML, we have used the same handler for the category as well as for make. And this time what we're going to do is, we'll say const, we'll extract the name and the value property, and we'll say event dot target, and let's keep it as it is right now, name and value. And we haven't defined any value here, so what we can do is, we can use the data set as well instead of name. What we can do is, we'll go to first category and we'll say data dot name is category, and data dot value is category dot value. And same thing we're gonna do it for the make. We'll say data dot name is the make type, and data dot value should be make dot value. So value is the key that is coming in the data. And here in the JS, what we can do is, we'll say give me the name and the value from the event dot target dot data set, and we can print the name as well as the value. Let's print the value and name. Now at least we have added something, so that will gives us the assurance if we are changing something in the HTML, whether that data is coming in our method or not. So let's deploy this. So now it's deployed. Let's go to our app, refresh the page. So now the page is refreshed. Let's right click on the page, go to inspect, go to console, and clear the console. And let's type something in the search key first. We'll say hello. So now you can see it's calling and it's printing the whatever text we are typing. So this is working fine. Now let's change the price field. So immediately it's updating the price that is based on the slider. That is also working fine. And if we change something in category, it says the name of this category, and the value that you have checked or unchecked is hatchback. If I go to the make, I'll change Ford. It will say you have changed in the make type and the value is Ford. So now our all actions are working fine. Our layout is ready. Now in the next video, we're gonna build our car tile list. So I'll see you in the next video.